Hey everyone, how you doing? Hope you're all well and fit and healthy. So I've just read something really worrying in The Independent, which is a newspaper over here in Britain. They've basically warned that the government's policy of easing this lockdown, which has come into full effect today on Wednesday, could lead to tens of thousands of excess and preventable deaths. Um, this is a government that keeps telling us every day they're following scientific advice, and yet scientists are now saying that easing the lockdown could lead to tens of thousands more deaths. Uh, really quite astonishing. My confidence in this government that was quite high at the beginning of this lockdown is now completely eradicated, completely dissipated. It's gone. I have no faith. I have no faith whatsoever that Boris Johnson and the British government are doing the best they can to keep us safe. The scientists have also said, which is again another extraordinary thing, they've also said that there could be tens of thousands of excess deaths as a result of easing lockdown. But also, they don't know how the virus is going to react to the easing of lockdown. Now, it seems to me that if you're a government following scientific advice and the scientists don't actually know how this thing is going to react, shouldn't you be being more cautious and not easing lockdown until the scientists can perhaps come to some sort of consensus on informing politicians, well, if we ease lockdown, the virus will react such and such a way? Seems extraordinary to me. Extraordinary that the government keep telling us that they're following scientific advice, and yet the scientists are saying, well, doing what you're doing could lead to tens of thousands of excess deaths, and we don't really know how the virus is going to react to the easing of lockdown. And yet the government are just going ahead and doing it anyway. I went out. I left the house this morning at 6 a.m. I've been getting up every morning at 5. I left the house this morning at 6 a.m. and went for a run along the canal. And the roads here in Thatcham were much more busy. I didn't see anybody else on the canal except the people on the boats and a few swans and ducks. But the roads are so much more busy. So there's definitely now a massive push by the public to start going out more, which is really worrying. I've said this in previous videos. Since lockdown started, I've actually been very calm and very confident that we weren't gonna, things weren't gonna be too bad. Although that's not worked out in terms of the numbers of deaths. But now I don't have any confidence whatsoever that we're safe. This morning, the streets are filling up. Thatcham is quite a quiet town. It's not a big town, right? And yet the roads were very busy this morning. So the roads of Thatcham are filling up with people and cars and people walking to work and stuff. And yet this morning we hear scientists saying we don't know how it's going to react to the easing of lockdown. So how are the government following scientific advice when the scientists don't actually know how this thing is going to work?